on Oleochemical. So for everyone, today, Vanakkam Tachahau. My name is Izzuddin Johari. So I represented for a research engineer for Syntronics Berhad. So for those already know me, then we meet again. So glad to have you on join this webinar. One, we have installed oil leak detection. So for today agenda, more focus for how you want to reduce your cost and to increase your safety, mostly to know, then to avoid, mostly for wastewater side, to avoid you to leak the oil or spillage to environment, so you can reduce your cost mostly on the fine itself. So the example we supply to one of Loji Rawatan Air for raw water intake in Selangor project. One for still waiting, still stick with us for today webinar. So I will represent you one of our brand that we present and how their technology, which our principal from Leadwise. So he have a equipment that can monitor the oil on water detection system. So about Leadwise, I will go through roughly. Leadwise is from AGA Environmental Technology companies. So was founded in 1990s with a focus on development, on manufacturing and sales, mostly for oil on water detection instrument only. So we can say that they are most expertise on this kind of technology to detect any oil spillage or oil leak detection. Then after that, in 2017, it was part of GE. As you know, everyone, General Electric, one of biggest company in the world. So when then from that, they are improving their product and developing their new technology according to the market needs. So on the picture itself, this is the team for Leadwise team, our principal. Then there is some of product depend on the application itself that can be installed, follow the what market industry or any application needed. So this is an example one portfolio already installed in the world, not in Malaysia. Some of it already in Malaysia. Example, like I think I already showed in previous portfolio by Syntronics itself. We also already installed for Air Selangor to detect their raw water for leak detection, not only for oil, actually for any chemical as long as it's not medium as water. So Leadwise actually they're using a high frequency electromagnetic energy absorption. So how this type of sensor can be monitored, which when water absorb much more microwave energy than hydrocarbon. So that's why they can determine which are once the oil already spillage or already collected in the interface of the sensor itself, then using the microwave energy, they can know whether that one is water or hydrocarbon or we call oil. So with the high frequency electromagnetic energy is transmitted through air or water interface, then received by antenna that already designed in the surface of the sensor, then that already we put below water surface. So with loading of the antenna is proportional to know the hydrocarbon layer. So then the output signal is proportional to the loading to get the reading and to know whether the oil already inside in the water, or we also have a sensor that can determine the thickness of oil of the water itself. So as you can see, this type of water level as for now. Then after that, as you can see, transmitting antenna already designed in the between of the sensor itself. Then this is how how to receive the data, the microwave. So goes to for crude palm oil process overview. As per I understand, this is general overview how palm oil industry process. So the potential that it was or can be implemented in your process itself, which are at this block diagram that we already highlighted in black. So as you can see on your clarification started from your clarification setting. So from there you already can install on some of area. If you go to wastewater, then you can install on your oil spreader oil to know when to monitor any possibility the oil can be spillage, otherwise to in your process line, or you want to control avoid to release to the environment itself. So mostly for firstly, like I was mentioned, for wastewater, then I think in palm oil industry, we call as a POM, which are palm oil milling effluent treatment plant. So where this oil liquidation leak-wise can be implemented is located for in process oil water separator at tank. So we have whether than our instrument that can monitor the liquidation oil, our sensor also have a different technology than different model that can possibly to send out the reading how many thickness oil already created on your oil water separator. So from that, you can use this data to start to remove the oil or to start to flushing or any type cost that can be act as a to control your form treatment plant itself. So basically, the sensor have more help to optimize your when you want to know the oil already the content in the oil water separator, which we and to know the oil value is more higher than the water. So from that you can instruct your operator or your system itself if you have automation system to remove the oil inside the oil water separator itself. So the example how the full control oil and water separator. So as you can see, this is our model ID 223 or 500 that installed inside the oil water filter to monitor the oil layer thickness. So I believe in certain oleochemical industry, they already set up their setting because the oil water separator, how many limit or reading that can allow is depend on how big your oil water separator and how big your plant receive the wastewater from the process itself. So this is example where the deep was is installed in oil water filter to detect any presence of any hydrocarbon or oil. Then once then can know because the controller can be set up to go up when your limitation of thickness that you want to set to alert your facility operator to know the oil already high visual or audible alarm to know or you can interlock if I know I understand in this type of application, we have a oil skimmer or you can interlock with your oil skimmer to start on and to remove the oil from your oil separator itself. Then other than that, you also can interlock with your discharge pump or shut off to do a some flushing or to remove the oil first then before you start to continue your process inside the pump treatment plant itself. So with the 5 key element working unit, we can reduce your risk oily discharge from your spatter itself and also eliminate any risk of human error. So I believe nowadays in oleochemical mostly for this kind of pump treatment for oil spatter mostly monitored by visually by facility operator, then manually to on the oil skimmer to start. However, if you think for 24 hours plan, then you run your production in 24 hours running without stop. So in the night time, so with visual, you cannot know how thickness oil inside the water. So with this kind of oil detection, you can help your process itself and also to eliminate any human error in the night time shift. So you can know and save more cost mostly without turn shut down your plant because of this damage in your pump treatment plant itself. So the example like I mentioned for oil skimmer application, the sensor we have a turbo sensor. We have two type which are ID225 and ID223. So this type of sensor is depend on the application. If you have a bigger plant, big pond for a monitor to have a oil, so we will propose on ID223. However, if you have some trap or fat trap, so we propose ID225. So the example where the sensor can be interlocked with the existing oil skimmer, if you already have the oil skimmer, I believe the oil skimmer is power on or off, so we can interlock to have an automation system rather than you have always have a facilities operator to go there to your site to know when to on the system by manually. So with this oil leak detection sensor, I believe it's a help mostly on night time because mostly how the oil skimmer on by visual on daily time. So it's good to have this kind of technology for your on oleochemical plant. Then goes to your application, which you have a tank, bulker, and terminal for transportation. I believe customer that come today have every brands have their tank, bulker, and terminal for to keep their product itself. So this is good to have also to install or to implement this oil leak detection monitoring, because you can know your 24 hours when, if there any leak monitoring of storage tank contaminate at the loading area happen, then with the sensor it actually can help to know if anything happen or someone has stole, or example, or during the transportation to the ship, then you can know to avoid is there any spillage started in the pipeline during the transfer, or during the simple during you keep the product too long. Then furthermore, if usually in the tank bucket terminals, you have essential to can have a collect run of water storage. So usually this is at the loading area. So using the sensor, you can monitor if your run of water storage system have been leakaged by oil or not before you discharge to the environment. So the example, some of our installation in overseas in Rotterdam. So for oil terminal plant, as you can see in highlighted, they have a oil water spreader, mostly for their keeping stock of oil. They are already installed to monitor if there before their transfer or discharge to environment or sea, there is no oil will be released to the environment. So because if they are released, then there will be fine or any penalty will be subsequently be charges to the any industry. So I believe it is good to nowadays with our industry in Malaysia, we have a lot of pollution happen. We don't know during the or every bad weather. We don't know anything can happen. If you have spillage oil during the heavy weather, then don't have anyone can monitor, because that one during the by visually. So with this sensor, they can be sent out by alarm, or using you also have a feature that can send by message to your operator or your plant manager to know is there already happened the oil spillage in your plant itself. So the example, mostly more deeper, where the sensor we did install in final discharge at some of harbor, and also can be implemented at your terminal, where the location usually will be installed for this sensor leak-wise for oil on water. Then, like I mentioned, for rainwater runoff and tank overflow monitoring in the bonded area. So I believe this system will be have on any tank bucket application, because you will have to have a bonded area to avoid any spillage happen if anything your tank is damaged or leakage. So this oil will be not spillage to the rainwater runoff. So then after that, and then if we miss out, then we can create some pollution to environment. So with this sensor, it can detect and give an alarm of any event or oil spillage happen during uh, operating daily hours. So this is ID223 that we install in one of some. So I believe in Oleochemical have a fat trap, oil sum trap, or fat traps. Fat trap to monitor how many oil or trap before they are sent back the water to treat, or to avoid to remove oil first or fat before you transfer the water to treated and discharge to the environment. So from this, you also can be reduce your cost mostly on your treatment process on pump treatment, which are if you can remove uh, how the higher percentage of oil then before you send to your wastewater treatment, I believe you can save your equipment in your wastewater treatment, mostly on chemical dosing, on to avoid any overdosing or underdosing, to treat the water before you release to environment. So with this sensor, I believe it's more to help to reduce cost on your wastewater treatment operational cost. So this is an example, and also we install in the bonded area that already have example happen in overseas. So this is how can be implemented. And the next one, we also have equipment that we install in some of channel. Even if they don't have any water, he can determine the air value. So don't have any, only you can receive the limitation or the alarm as a oil only. So the air will be as a normal alarm for you with you guys to monitor. So with this controller, so we involve our controller every nowadays. So this type of controller we already involved there, which have a parameter that can to know to the thickness of oil. So it become more friendly LCD touchscreen. On the previously we don't have any touchscreen. Then we have also optional, like I mentioned, your plant manager or your operator can know by message GSM when leakage already happened during the daily or night time. So feature of the benefit of using a leadwise technology, on reliability you can reduce any false alarm, and we also low sensitivity to change in water, mostly for example if the water is from seawater, salinity, pH and temperature. So this parameter not affected performance of our leadwise. So this the material is designed to avoid any corrosion or can happen at the sensor itself. So it's also low sensitivity to coating effect. I believe some of client will be asked about if it will be covered up by oil on the surface itself during after then if that needed or for daily cleaning. So I believe the sensor will not be coated by oil after they already detect the oil. When you remove, you can be cleaned by the jet to that sensor and clean it by the clothes, what the clean clothes. Then after that, you can use it back without any calibration needed. So you can continue measurement of any oil present and thickness. So alarm continuous indication of percentage oil in emulsion itself. Then they are able to reset zero if oil already present during the operation line. So the example how the sensor alarm that can be alert to operator, how they are sent, and you can get the message. This is how each type of when the oil spillage happen, this the reading that you can be capture during the operation line itself. So as you can see, for air it at 27%, then oil 30%. So this is some of reading that already set up the limit by some of our clients. So thank you everyone for your time for this sharing session for oil and water detection system.